Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. So today's video is a quick one for twin flames on when is it actually time for twin flame union, what that's going to look like, and who actually needs to approach who. This is to help you provide clarity with any doubts that you may have, whether you are supposed to wait for the divine masculine to approach you or the feminine to approach you. So instead of worrying about who approaches who, this video is going to give you some clear signs to really look at where you are on your journey that can help you better understand union. Now, first off, I really do want to clarify that it is not true, not always true, that the divine masculine will be the one to approach the feminine in the connection. Now, the reason why I want to clarify this is because, there's this misconception in the twin flame community that the divine feminine is supposed to wait, do her inner work, and then the divine masculine will approach. And that is not always going to be true. And, if you really want to take a look at the factual case of that, is just take a look at how many masculines are actually not the runners in the dynamic. It is a rare situation, but it does happen that the divine masculines are actually the chasers in the twin flame dynamic. And if that is true, then the other doesn't apply either, which is that the masculine will be the one to approach. So how can we be sure? How can we make sure that, when it's time for twin flame union, you actually know who should be approaching and how will that union actually happen? Now, the first sign that you are moving closer to union is that you have actually gone through a Kundalini awakening. Now, I emphasize this one because if you are new to the twin flame journey, you might be preoccupied with the idea of union, but not really understanding that this is the key to the purification process that you go through on your awakening journey. And until you've gone through that as a twin flame, you are nowhere near coming into union with your twin. So please be mindful of that. If you are actually the chaser in the twin flame dynamic, regardless of if you are the male or the female, basically what this means is that you have been the primary one in this connection that's been doing the research, doing the inner work, and being committed to that journey to union, and has the responsibility really for leading that inner work so that union can take place. Now, if this is you, what you will begin to experience when you reach that inner union is that you will be able to manifest things very quickly and easily into your 3D reality. Now, this could be, you having thoughts about what you would like and those showing up and appearing in your path. Now, when you reach this state, you are getting very close to union. And to accompany this, you will start to see things like your twin's name popping up in certain places, the signs and synchronicity start to show up again, very similar to what you would have experienced when you got activated onto this journey. It's important to note that this actually happens to you when Kundalini has actually reached your third eye and is ready to break through the crown. So if you are experiencing this sort of magnetism, you are very close to union. Now, another and actually more promising sign of you getting closer to union is when you actually begin to experience that unity consciousness. Now, I've talked about this in my previous videos, is unity consciousness may be a state that you tap into for seconds and then it disappears. And if you don't know what unity consciousness is, it's basically when you begin to experience your interconnectedness with everything else in the universe. From the plants to the trees to the bees to, people that you probably didn't like in the past, you begin to really experience the divine within everything that exists. And when you reach this state, depending on whether or not you are stable in that frequency, it may feel like you're coming and going in and out of this state. Your responsibility in meditation is to really anchor in this frequency so that it becomes a more permanent state that you can experience at all times. Even when you are, stepping out of meditation, this is something you can experience in your 3D. When this happens, basically what's happening to you is the illusion of separation from everything within you and the universe. That veil of separation is disappearing. And therefore you can appreciate every living thing for what it truly is, being a part of that, grand design, that, and being part of the divine. And so with that, you can actually magnetize your twin back in, because that separation, now that you are in that frequency of, that duality disappearing, you are now able to bring and magnetize your twin back into you. So when this actually happens, this is such a promising thing, because you no longer need to be preoccupied with, do I reach out to my twin? Is my twin going to reach out to me? That sign that you have reached that perfect state, because when you get there, your twin will automatically be drawn back to their original state. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this was helpful. God bless.